Good morning, everybody. How are you? We want to welcome you back to Digital First Aid Podcast. And if you're on YouTube, very welcome to you all too. So today I'm joined with my co-host again, James McCulloch. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Gareth Melia. And together we run the Digital First Aid Podcast, a podcast designed exclusively for first aid providers, CPR providers, essentially medical training providers, and help them get the most of their online presence and how they can leverage the immense power that is the internet. So in this episode, we're going to go over content calendars. What is a content calendar? Why your company needs a content calendar? Why content calendars can save you countless hours of brainstorming and implementation and thinking and drawing from your creative powers. And it's just an all around fantastic tool to leverage for all business. Okay. So we have a content calendar that we're going to give away to everybody that's listening here. And you can go over to our website and grab that. But first we want to go through, I'll give you quick, brief looks at what it looks like. And if you stick around to the end, we'll also give you a really cool freebies of white label posts and social media and business cards and all sorts of stuff. So hang around to the end and you'll get access to that. I need to apologize for the guys that are listening on the podcast. You won't be able to see this, but what we're doing is just showing an overview of what a content calendar looks like. We'll come back to this and we'll get into the nitty gritty later on, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. In this calendar, we did it for 30 days. You can do a calendar for 3 months, a year if you wish, but you need to keep yourself or your company needs to be topical. So if Mother's Day is coming up or Christmas is coming up or Valentine's Day coming up, makes sense, or World First Aid Day, which just went past on the 10th. You need to kind of make sure that you're adding some posts about that. So this content calendar is designed specifically for your social media. You know, you can have a content calendar for everything, video, podcasts like we're doing right now, blog content calendar. But this one, we're talking mostly about social media. And that can be any social media channel, you know, whatever the attention of your user is, that's where you need to focus on. So right here, we've done 1 to 30 days. Now, it's ludicrous to think that you need to post every single day. You're not Gary V. But I wanted to give you a nice round number so to get your head around it. Realistically, this calendar that we'll give it to you could last 3 months if you're just posting, 3 to 4 times a week, which is more than sufficient. All right. So I'll explain where you can go and grab this at the very end. For those of you who have to shoot off, I suppose what we'll do is just give it to you now. So if you want to shoot over to our website, that's digitalfirstaid.co/content-calendar. And you'll be able to go and grab your free copy. But those of you who stick around to the end, we will also give you an extra freebie that is really, really powerful. And yeah, so let's, with that being said, we'll get back into that. I'll go through it in a bit more detail, but there's a couple of questions that some people wanted to ask. So we'll go through them. So James, take it away. Floor is yours.
Cool. I thought maybe I would just start by sort of reiterating that content as well, because you said it's not just social posting, it's can be blogs or any other type of content that is used to try and draw people back in. So you're not necessarily just posting on your Facebook account or Instagram account, you're also creating assets for the web as well, right?
Absolutely. Well, that's the whole point of it. You're creating content to stay top of mind for sure, to educate, of course, to inform people of your courses. Of course, as this is a given, but it's also to to hook people in, to draw people in to your platform. There's a busy world out there online, and people are there's attention being your prospective buyers. Their attention is being vied for by everybody. So the idea is you have to lure them into your shop front, your digital shop front, and you do that by creating content. You need to do this strategically. If you just start banging out every single day course dates, you're trying to take and you're not giving. And people, we all know people like that, and how much fun are they? So we need to be strategic. We need to give a little. We need to understand what's entertaining. We don't want to give one-dimensional content, and we'll go over that. But yeah, it's about, yeah, in essence, what you are doing is, James is completely right. You're building what we call brand assets that you can leverage and utilize. And you can replenish, we can reuse, should I say, or repurpose your content. So you could create content, and there's no reason why you can't use them again 12 months down the line. Will people know? Maybe someone might know, but majority won't. So we're going to show you how you can get the best bang for your buck for each piece of your content you do for your business. And it's vital, guys. You know, with COVID, it showed us that not having an online presence is just really not an option. And you have to be present. You know, think of your website or your social medias as a place, your social medias especially, as a place to show the character and ethos and values of your company online. And think of your website as your online office. So you're trying to draw people in. All right. That's where you really know you've done well, when you've got that brand loyalty, where people, when they think, okay, first aid training, your brand name, your company is like synonymous with it. And that's where you call, when you know you've got product match fit. And you do that by connecting and loyalty. And social media is just the best possible way to do that, because we're emotional creatures, remember that. And if we're just giving, core states and logical, analytical type data to people, you're not emotionally pulling them in or drawing them into your message. And yes, some people might buy your service because they need it at a time, but to try to encourage that brand loyalty, and that they stay around for years and use you for years and years and years, and refer you, become a brand ambassador and really refer you, you need to create that emotional connection. And social media is just fantastic for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think it is so much more than just doing the sell part of it as well. Just as you say, not just doing that core stakes, but also, I think maybe trying to kind of connect with someone. Like what you can be posting can also be, you can be posting like things that kind of reiterate and respond with people, because the reason you're going on these things isn't necessarily to find something to buy straight away, but you're also just looking for something to connect to, or to something that kind of reflects your beliefs. So if that kind of posting calendar can kind of tap into that, oh, this sounds like somewhere I want to be, or this sounds interesting. And then within that journey comes the sell much later. That's much more a stronger customer journey there.
Absolutely, James. The thing is, you can't, like I mentioned before, you can't try to take. So Gary V, that I mentioned before, he wrote a book about it, and it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. So you give, then you have you've earned the right to ask. And when you do this, it's a lot better than just asking consistently. Now, sometimes content that's not even about selling, not even a soft sell or a hard sell. Hard sell is like, here's my course, book it. Or soft sell could be like, we have a course coming up next week, and we have a free sausage sizzle where you could sign up. It could be like almost like a market style thing where you could learn a little bit about them, and go and see some mannequins in almost like a booth or a stall type thing, with the idea of selling people courses eventually. But that would be a soft sell. But what I found is, just by showing something, the human side of your brand, maybe it's a walkthrough of your office, or, sitting down and going through some of the equipment that you use, or educational content, how to plug up a wound with gauze, or how to dislodge a foreign object stuck in a child's nose or something like that. That sort of stuff draws people even in more. Nowadays, TikTok just has stormed the internet, The business, businesses on TikTok are stormed by just showing what goes on behind the scenes. And what it showed us as marketers, that people have an insatiable thirst to see what happens behind the scenes, what happens behind the curtains, and what you might find mundane or redundant because you've seen it so many different times. It might be amazing to other people. I take for an instance, a client of ours owns a big bakery here locally, and people, to them, they're making these macarons and they're making all these beautiful croissants, and they're flicking them around and putting them down, and they're doing them day in, day out, and it's nothing to them. But when someone else goes in and sees these machines in action, it's really amazing, because people are like, oh, I wondered how that happened. So it's scratching an itch that people didn't even know it's theirs. And the same principle with you. If you're showing something that's not necessarily what you do directly, but it certainly goes under the umbrella, it's a really good way to invite people in. Because there's not a hard sell, there's no agenda. People don't. It's the same thing. Okay, think of it this way: if you're trying to sell the whole time, it's the same as when you go to a shop and you're trying to, you're browsing. Maybe you're looking for a t-shirt and you're interested in buying, but as soon as you go in there, you just see the sales clerk just beeline for you, and you know that they're there and they're coming straight over to you. Even if you wanted a t-shirt, it's almost like just instinct to show a bit of resistance and say, oh, look, I don't know, I'm fine, I'm just browsing. So the better thing you would do is just like let them aware, look, I'm here. If you need anything, just let me know. And you're kind of observing from the back. That's a lot more effective. We need to kind of implement the same sort of strategy when it comes to your social media.
Yeah, I think also just showing off a bit of your goods as well. There, like talking about doing the gauze example. It's almost like doing a little bit of a tester, because people do use social media and the internet to find answers to things or to find interest in things. So it's like a little bit of showing off what you can do. I also thought it was interesting just that you mentioned TikTok there, because I think another people look at these social media channels and go, jeepers, there's a lot of different avenues to cover. Like I haven't got the time to do TikTok, Reddit, Snapchat, all those. Like, are there essential ones to be focusing on, or is it better to sort of double down on one avenue and create content for that?
Yes, that's a good question. Look, in essence, these platforms, they come and go. What remains is what drives people to make buying decisions. And attention might vary to different platforms, so you need to figure out where your audience is. If you've got an older audience, well, Facebook, it might be, I think Facebook should be part of your strategy anyways. If you're younger and you're more comfortable with Instagram and you're just having really good, you've got really good response from Instagram, drill Instagram. TikTok, look, see, the thing is, TikTok is a younger audience, that's for sure. But you got to understand that younger audience eventually will get older, and that younger audience influences the older audience. So I've got a client, spoke with him yesterday, and they're selling natural cleaning products, and they were saying about TikTok. It's not really our audience. And I'm like, well, the kids see it on TikTok and the kids recommend it to the parents when the kids are in the supermarket and say, oh, do get this one, I've seen it on TikTok, or this is a good brand. That influences. The beauty of TikTok is that it's still somewhat in its infancy stage, meaning that it's new to the game. So the organic reach you get on Instagram or TikTok is still quite powerful, whereas Facebook and Instagram and the likes of those, they really want you to pay to play it. They want you to advertise or paid promotion, boost posts or whatever it is to get that reach out. Where TikTok can, you can still get fantastic reach on it. So what I'm saying is, what you can do is you can create a content calendar and schedule it out to all of them. Depending on what scheduling tool, but definitely, your LinkedIn or your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, perhaps Google My Business if you wanted to do that, and TikTok if you wanted. It's completely up to you. You need to find out what works well for you and go mile deep instead of, going a mile wide and focusing on everything. Now, there's tools, and I'll explain it one really, really soon, how that will work. But yeah, find out what works. And I think all of them all of them have a fantastic potential, but know your market and know where your market hangs out. Then also understand how to speak to your market is another thing, but that's messaging and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I think maybe even like, I know a number of our people we have, do mental health courses. If you're doing sort of youth mental health courses, maybe that's one way to sort of do that avenue and then focus elsewhere for a different audience. But I did want to ask you about what the most important thing is, because I know people do, hire graphic designers to do their beautiful posts and other content writers. So what really is the most important thing when putting together a piece of content for scheduling? Is it kind of the look, or is it kind of the message, or what's holding people's attention?
Well, it's all of the above, to be quite honest, James. You kind of need to have everything. Like the creative or the image or the video, that is very important, because that's what's going to get people stopped from scrolling. You got to remember, when people are scrolling on their phone, they're almost in a zombie trance. They're just kind of, they're not really there. So you need to create a pattern interrupt. So you need to stop them from scrolling. So you need stopping content. So the image is going to grab their attention first, then the headline. And then if they're interested in what your, if you pique their interest, then it's going to be the messaging that draws them in. So realistically, it's a bit of everything, but you can never neglect the actual content. And this is why video is really, really good. The thing with video is, do you remember what I said before? I was like, oh, you can't really, it's very hard to create content every day. It's very hard to create content if you're creating the content. If you have got a big presentation, and like, for instance, the webinars or presentations we do, they take time. You would never be able to do that every single day. It just wouldn't be feasible. But what you could do is do little short stories. And that's what people are doing right now, is that instead of creating, you're just documenting. You're documenting what you're doing anyways. And then that's your little piece of content that you create. And then it took you all but 20 seconds to do. If that's easy for you, then by all means, go for broke. And you'll always get some people. Sorry?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I think that organic thing does kind of work. Like, even, you have to do a kind of whole Michael Jackson type music thriller thing. But as you say, like, your industry is quite interesting, unique to other people. So even like documenting the little things that you do day in, day out, that, quick chest compression, or quick demonstration of something, will be interesting. It's low cost, and it will be probably have a much bigger reach for its low cost than maybe even high production.
100%. And sometimes people with high production, some people don't respond well to high production. We've actually seen better response sometimes in just the homemade stuff, because it knows people, again, saying behind the curtain types, scenarios, they like authenticity. They like the fact that it's not staged. There's no agenda. It's just you, and it's real. People love realness. So so when it high production, that it was staged and it was planned and stuff like that. And look, you can create content really easy. It can be, okay, you could create a course, and you could go you could do a course, and it could really go through primary care, and it could go through secondary care. But that doesn't mean that your content has to be just that course. You could create content about, what to do if, you chop off your finger, if you accidentally cut your finger off, and how to store it in, wash it, put it in a bag, get another ice bag in, put the other bag in within that ice bag, so to keep it, increase the likelihood that you can reattach it. Same with your tooth, if it falls out, how you can, minimize or increase the likelihood that you may be able to replace it back in. Little first aid tricks that people won't know, but they're like, oh, wow, this is interesting. I've got kids. I've got a body. This could happen to me. I cook. So like, don't be afraid to play around with it. And this doesn't have to be, high production. You can get someone just recording you in your sitting room or in your kitchen or wherever you are doing this sort of stuff. So have fun with it. That's kind of like important as well. Content creation is not going to be hard if you enjoy it.
Is that what you've been keeping in the fridge, Gareth? Because I saw that ice box. I thought
Yeah.
maybe you bought something for us.
Yeah, just in case I cut my fingers off when I'm cutting the pineapple in the morning.
Oh, we have a morning ritual of smoothies, which if you're watching this, you can see Gareth drinking.
That's it, getting all my vitamins, man.
Slowly waking up at what time is it? 9 o'clock.
It is 8:45.
This is a serious question, right? So I want an answer. How regularly do you want to post?
You want to stay active. If someone looks at your social media, they need to be able to see that there's activity. If it's just dormant and there hasn't been something posted in like 3 months, it's just a big red flag. It's like why? Like what's going on there that they don't need to post? Because some people, they'll go to your Google and they'll check out your reviews, but some other people will just go to your social media, or some people might see you on social media, or they lack thereof, and that's the problem. If they don't see you on the social media, it's because maybe you're not posting. So there is definitely a burden. So how often do you want to post? You want to be posting something at least once a week. But if you want to keep momentum and you want to leverage the algorithms, consistency is the key. It really, really is. Consistency is key.
Yeah, I think especially if you're doing blog writing as well, because I think it's probably explained how that works before, but how Google picks up on fresh content and then goes, oh, this person is producing fresh content. I'll push them up on the social rankings. So continually having fresh content also just helps you in terms of increasing your SEO, increasing your appearance on the web as well. So if you're kind of interested in that avenue, that's a big part of it to consider. If you write one blog and leave it alone for a whole year, it will just disappear.
Exactly. You need momentum. When it comes to content, it's like a compounding effect. You do a little bit of it, you won't get that positive feedback. And a lot of people just drop off because they don't realize it's going to just kick in here. So it's all about consistency, and then you start to take off. So yeah, you want to try to have to work with the algorithms realistically, if you want to get the most from it, for sure.
Now, I know some of our clients get people to handle their social posting for them. They get into their creatives and other things. Is it really worth kind of doing that if you want to sort of really invest your time into it, or who?
Well, you definitely need to have. Well, depends. Like if the person works for your company and they know exactly what you do, then that's fine. They you can have a designated social media manager, and that's absolutely fine. Now, if you're hiring someone, they really should know the niche. They really should know. Sounds like it's an indirect plug for us, but they really need to be experts in the field. They need to understand the difference between, courses. They need to understand, why people would be taking these courses, what's the reasoning behind it. You need to understand what drives someone to take a course. What drives a person to go to an open course, like someone walking in from the street, maybe a different reason for someone to do a workplace course, so you need to speak to them differently. So yes, you can get someone to do your posts, but they need to kind of understand the industry, but at least you have put your hand in it. So when they create the post and you have final sign off on it, and make sure that you're creating posts that it's consistent with your brand. You need to have your brand guidelines. Brand guidelines is basically your fonts, what color palette you use, what are no-go colors. Maybe you have your logo in different formats, for different backgrounds. Maybe you have, a transparent background one, and then one of them you have there with a white background, black background, so you can change it depending on the actual image you're using. And that will keep consistency, brand consistency, and that just oozes professionalism. If you have different and disjointed content all over the shop, it just shows that you just really, you just kind of throwing things together. So certainly take that, they need to take that into consideration, and they need to understand like why you're posting and why you're posting. And so what I might do is I might jump in here and show people and run through, sorry guys to all the listeners, but I'll try to be as descriptive as I possibly can what this content calendar might look like. So you want to vary the content that you create. Okay. So on day one, for instance, you could share a statistic or a fact about first aid. How many people have died from choking in the last year, or how many people's lives were saved from CPR, or something like that. Examples could be currently around 9 or in 10 people who experience cardiac arrest outside of a hospital pass away. CPR can double or even triple a person's odds of surviving. This is a really interesting fact. You can just grab it from online and just go to Canva, and we'll share some Canva posts with you. But you go to Canva, just grab a template, bang in this, you just copy and paste this, put your logo, put your font size or your font choice and theme, brand colors, and then you post it, and it's easy as. All right. The next one could be doing a first aid tip. You could share a quick tip, quick and easy first aid tip. These posts could be best as videos for more reach and engagement. Remember, videos really dominate social media platforms. You can get a lot more data from videos as well, but people love to watch videos, and plus you can get a lot more information across to someone via video than you would if you were writing a post. So this an example of the video or the tip would be how to use an EpiPen. I remember seeing a video on a girl explaining an EpiPen, and she was really dynamic and enthusiastic, and I was glued. I watched the entire thing. I actually watched it twice. I've seen it another time, and I was so drawn in by it because it was so powerful, and you're not really shown that. So that could be a very good one. And then on day 3, or it could be the third post of the month. This is just day 3 for us, but we really did overkill here. On day 3, you could share a client testimony. This could be a recent review, a success story, or a testimony from a happy client. It could be a text one, like a text content. It was just, Julie was such a great trainer. My staff and I learned so much. Something so simple like that. It's just building your social proof on your social media. And it's easy to do. If you got a video test review, that could be very powerful as well. Then we go on to day 4, and all the listeners, this will be all in this spreadsheet content calendar that we've created. So go and grab yours over at digitalfirstaid.co/content-calendar, and you'll be able to see for yourself. All right, then the day 4, you might share something like a behind the scenes type thing. It could share a photo or an image, and they're bloody well the same thing, a photo and a video from a recent class. For example, a video of you demonstrating a class doing chest compressions. And that's kind of like the behind the scenes. Or you show a video of you bringing in your mannequins or hauling in your mannequins over your shoulder. It could be something simple. You could have 2 mannequins over your shoulder. You walk in, the caption could be no man left behind or something like that, or no mannequin left behind, and you could have a fun play on it. Again, be creative with it. Then on day 5, you can do a course promotion. You can promote one of your courses essentially. You could, your example could be, what is the correct, 3 reasons to take our workplace first aid course. So do you see what I did there? This is day 5, and only on day 5 am I actually promoting a course. Every other day it was different information. It was, one of them was informative, one of them was educational, one of them was entertaining, and one of them was social proof. And now on the 5th day, I am showing them, I'm actually asking for them, I'm telling them, here I have a course, why don't you book in? All right. So you want to keep it varied and diverse to keep people's attention, so they cannot predict what's coming next. When they see your post, they're like, oh, I know what's coming here. So they just scroll on. Because sometimes I'm following people and I follow them because I really am interested in them. But I'm seeing the same content. I know what they're trying to do. It's a self-promotion, and I'm just sick of it. So I don't even give them the time of day, as bad as it sounds. But I'll scroll on because I know what they're trying to do. So never let people know what you're going to do. You know, stay elusive, like a honey badger. So on day 6, you might do a first aid quiz. You could test your followers' knowledge with an interactive post. Post it in a carousel or a slide. One having the question and the slide, 2 the answers, or write the answers in the comments. This is basically, again, trying to draw them in. You want to hook them in. You need to hook people in. It's very important. And yeah, the example on this could be, what is the correct order of the 3 P's of first aid? A, prevent worsening, promote recovery, preserve life. B, preserve life, prevent worsening, promote recovery. Or C, prevent worsening, preserve life, promote recovery. This will grab people's attention and draw them in. Now, I'll do one more, just because otherwise I'll be here all day just listening through a content that it's going to be completely yours. All you have to do is go over to the website and grab it. But yeah, day 7, you could do a first aid definition. Here's some useful content of giving a definition to commonly used first aid terms. You could use, for example, cardiac, and then explain a medical term associated with things related to we all got it, to the heart. All right. So that, I wanted to kind of go through what it kind of looks like. So what happens is, all right, now I know that we create this. Say, for instance, you set out 2 hours with your social media manager on the first Tuesday of every month, and between 10 a.m. till 12:30, you go through your content calendar, and you just pull this up, you duplicate it, or you just add a couple more days on it, and then you just put in the topic and then a little description of what it'd be, and then an example, or the caption. So maybe if you just give this topic and a description of what your kind of thought process is behind it, maybe your social media manager, whoever is doing it for you, will will think of the caption. Caption is basically just the text that follows the image of the creator. Now you also need to bear in mind that you need to start thinking of how to get asset collateral, meaning like images. So when you see an opportunity, boom, take a picture and take a couple of different pictures, document, and maybe at this meeting that you have once a month, you pull up, you go through your phone, you grab some of the images, you're like, okay, let's use that. Oh, here's a little video, yes, use that. And you put it in. So what this means is you have it all pre-thought out. You're planned. Those who fail to plan are planned to fail. So the idea is to have it all set out, that you don't have to, create, summons the creative juices within and draw from the, a depleted bandwidth that you have from a hard day's work. Try to think of a post just to keep yourself active. It's all done. You've done it at the start of the month, when you're fresh as a daisy, out of bed, and you've got energy to burn, and it's done and dusted for you. So it's very, very powerful. Now, another pro tip for this is that, yes, okay, these are creative and this is beautiful. So whoever is doing social media can go in here and like, okay, what am I posting? I look at my calendar and your real calendar, and it says, okay, it's Monday. I post a social media post. You come over here, you grab the description or the caption, and you could insert your image here, or you can insert your link to your video here, and then you can go and post it. Now, again, this is a lot easier because you already got the content. You're only really copying and pasting. But it's, again, you have to manually do this. So what I recommend you do is use a scheduling tool. Now, Facebook will allow you to schedule posts, but that's just one platform. But there is a lot of platforms out there that allow you to schedule posts. We have our own one. It's called Alum. And basically what you do is you just connect your social medias to it. You post. And if anybody is interested in Alum and wants to learn a bit more about this amazing social media planner tool, just reach out, and we'd be more than happy to kind of answer your question, point you in the direction of something. But it's a really, really cool tool. What you do is basically you upload your calendar, and you just tick the social medias that you want it to post to. So instead of just posting it to one social media, and now post it to potentially 4. And again, you're spreading yourself to different platforms, but not having to create or do 4 times the work. So it's very, very powerful tool. And again, it will take so much time off. So you spend maybe 2 hours or an hour creating social media posts for the month. Then you spend another hour loading them into the scheduling tool, and boom, you just press publish, and on each day that it's supposed to release, it will just publish automatically. Boom, 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 like clockwork. And this is what we're trying to essentially achieve, is master of efficiency. So you are not tied in or bogged down in stuff that it's not your forte. You were doing, you're the visionary of the company, and you're maybe you're the implementer as well. So you're actually out there, doing these trainings as well. So that's where you are best. So there's no reason why you're pulled, drawn, and bogged down manually posting social media. Because what happens is you lose out on what we call opportunity cost. Because if you're focusing your attention here, you're missing out on big picture ideas or visions of where you want to take your company and what you want to do, or spending time with your family and kids. So yeah, I think it's very, very powerful to have an effective, thought out social media plan. Because the other side of that is, it's like, okay, I want to spend time with my family. I want to focus on training. I don't want to do social media. Well, then what happens is you don't get the benefits of social media, and you don't have your brand isn't growing. Your lead flow or bookings are inconsistent. You've got slow months. There's no predictability. You can't really hire anybody else because you're unsure that will you have the work to supply them. It's just a uncertain world. And that's a horrible way to be in. So I would recommend trying to streamline and automate everything. Automation is where we're going. And I think everybody should jump onto it. Not saying you need to automate an entire life and become a robot, but things that don't need to be manually done anymore don't need to be done. So you definitely utilize automation. They'll save you 1 million hours of headaches throughout your lifetime. So hopefully this kind of explains what a social media calendar will look like. Now, we also, over that webpage, digitalfirstaid.co/calendar-content-calendar, we also have access to some white label social media posts. And basically what you can do is just go over, click the link. The post is created there for you. All you do is just drag in your logo, boom. Maybe add your fonts if you want, change the colors, and you have social media posts. So we've got Facebook posts, Instagram posts, business cards, Facebook covers, even we've got videos. So you can do some promotional videos where you can white label. They're really effective for promotion. So by all means, go over there and you have access to this all for free. It's all yours. Take it away, utilize it, leverage it.
Cool. And I think also, just giving everyone a break from your voice, Gareth.
Yeah, they probably need one.
I think if you're not already part of a Facebook group for first aid trainers, we do a lot of these kind of help videos as well. So if you're wanting to do that Canva yourself, or you're wanting to create quizzes or do anything within Facebook, anything design like, you can join. There'll be a link in the description below. And yeah, if you've got any questions, ask the group, because generally we like to try and share information around, and new question might be something that's been asked before, or something that we can do a video on for you now. So yeah, be sure to check that out.
Yep, that's a great point, James. For sure. Go over to just Facebook and just type in Digital First Aid. It's an invitation, private only group. So you have to request to get access. But if if you're listening to this, you're good stock and good caliber. So I'm sure you will,
especially if you got this stuff.
Yeah, if you manage to stomach
you deserve
my
it.
ramblings, yeah.
Automatic.
Sure. Automatic approval. For sure.
I just thought I'd ask you maybe one final question, or maybe two questions before we go. Because I know there's kind of a lot of people might want to sort of track how their posts are doing, and particularly with Facebook in particular has quite good analytics in terms of tracking how your post is doing. Is there anywhere that I can kind of look at my overall posting scheme, or anywhere I can kind of see how they're performing? You talked about LM before as well.
Yeah, well, absolutely. You can, for sure. A lot of these platforms, if you are posting on a business page, provide analytics. Analytics and metrics and all this sort of stuff is probably the least sexy thing when it comes to marketing. But by God, is it important? It really is. It shows you, it gives you a look under the hood of what your ideal clients or your customers or your followers are thinking, what they're responding well to and what they're not. So what that allows you to do is, okay, well, I see that they're responding well to these sorts of posts, so maybe I'll increase that, and you'll constantly iterate and tweak. So the idea is,
I was sorry, I keep on interrupting you.
That's fine. I've used it at home.
I get it. When I go back
Except FYI, James and I don't live together. I just get it from at home by other people.
But you're not just sort of seeing the likes as well. If you're doing something that that you want people to go through to a page, you're kind of monitoring how many people look at this post and how many people go to the page, as opposed to just kind of following the amount of likes you get, which I can kind of understand that that doesn't really translate to actual kind of business or interest. But if you wanted to monitor anything, there would be kind of, we do this as well with email. It's like how many people come through, how many people actually go and look at the thing you're asking them to look at.
Oh, absolutely.
That's probably more powerful than just getting a like or something.
Yes, you're right. So like bottom funnel conversions is what you're looking for. Bottom funnel means like top of funnel is just someone that's first see who you are. Bottom funnel is people that are actually paying. So people get tied up and lost in what we call vanity metrics. It's like, oh, I've got 1 million likes here. Now, although it shows you some good insights that, okay, this is good content to grab their attention. But what am I trying to ultimately do as well? So you need to understand, like, if, for instance, you are creating posts, like what's the overall strategy? So you want to bring them eventually down to your website, even if you're posting and it's not directly trying to sell a course. Is your social media platform, is your profile designed to convert? So you should treat your social media profiles almost like a landing page. A landing page is basically a page that gets them to go somewhere else. It's trying to invite and entice people using persuasive techniques and intrigue to get them to leave social media but go to your website, because your website realistically is where all the action happens. That's where the conversion should be happening, if they can book online or they can submit an inquiry or call you or whatever. So that's the ultimate goal, guys. We should really remember that. Social media and content is all good and well, but there's a reason behind it. It's just the top of funnel. It's a means to an end. It's essentially trying to get them down here to take an action that we want, and that's the book courses realistically. Now, maybe because I harped on about, don't sell, but that's just in the content. But realistically, we're trying to sell eventually. So bear that in mind, that even if we're not trying to sell, we do want them to actually go down what we call go down the pipeline, down to the funnel. All right.
Well, I think that probably sets up a conversation that might be a bit long now, but probably would be good for next time as well, coming into more of that funnel generation as well, because that's like a whole nother hours long talk, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a conversation. And if people are interested, just let us know. We're more than happy to tailor content to people's needs and what they feel that's important to them. So we're totally open to it. So if you have any requests, specific requests, just holler and we'd be more than happy to look into it. And if it's, warrants attention, we'll definitely create something for you guys.
Gareth will take his jumper, but not his t-shirt off for Cameron, I've been told.
That's it. That's it. That's only a sneak peek. James said if we reach 1 million listeners or 1 million views, I'll have to do a special dance. But for some reason, I don't think we'll we'll reach 100 views. But a man can dream. Maybe then I'll show a bit more of my white, pasty, pale Irish skin, even after I come back from Europe. But yeah, you'll have to wait. Stay tuned, guys. To be honest, I don't think anybody wants to see that realistically. It's like everybody starts immediately unsubscribing. It's like, I'm out of here. Things are getting weird around here.
Yeah, we'll put on more layers if that's what you want.
That's it. I will wrap myself up like an onion, and I will I'm like Joey Tribbiani in that episode of Friends where he like wears all his clothes. That's what you want. I'll do it.
All right.
But yeah, on that silly note, we will wrap it up and we look forward to seeing you next time. Same bat channel, same bat time. I don't know if that's the way you say it, but whatever. It is today. All right, guys. Peace out.
Goodbye.